Alright, good afternoon, everybody. My capstone is based on the United States Army and the different stereotypes and opinions that people have towards the Army. A little bit about myself. I turned 18 2 days ago. I am a platoon sergeant in the New Haven recruiting office. I enlisted September 14, 2018 in the United States Army. After my service, I wanted to become a licensed bodyguard or a police officer, as well as get my bachelor's degree in criminal justice. How did my capstone connect to my magnet theme? My magnet theme is health, so I wanted to inform other students what health-related jobs the Army has to offer to juniors and seniors, as well as adults. What influenced me to do this project? Well, I previously helped two fellow students from career, which is Beverly and Allie, I believe, and they did a presentation and an event in a gymnasium. That influenced me to make my own event and invite students as well as staff members to come in and actually learn about the military or Army in general, and just learn the different careers, benefits, and just me myself to learn the different opinions they have towards the Army. How did everything begin? Well, first, I wanted to do something that I would be comfortable doing, so I picked the Army. So I chose my topic, then I filled out the forms to create the event, as well as I set in a date for my event and actually create a flyer. Now, I invited 4 of my sergeants, and then I talked to the custodian and Ms. Coco for gym equipment to put in my event and make it more entertainable for students, and actually students could participate. Why did I pick this topic? I wanted to learn the different stereotypes that students have towards the Army, as well as inform them the benefits and career jobs that they are missing out, and actually to see if I could change their viewpoint. Now, question, what's the first thing that pops up when you hear Army or anything?
Danger.
Danger.
I'm scared.
Scared. Alright. So 90% of the people actually think war, violence, guns, blood, death, everything. So my obstacles that I had and questions I had was, how many students are going to show up to my event? What time should I host my event? And as well as, is my sergeants are going to show up? So I actually had to talk to my sergeants and actually bother them to confirm that they are showing to my event, as well as I talked to the person in charge of the choices day schedule and everything, and I actually talked to them in person and told them that they could put as many students as they would like inside my capstone, as well as I talked to Ms. Lavornia to help me set the time for my event. My process and plan. My plan was, how can I interact with students? So I created the event for students to come in, and that's how I will learn about their different opinions, and as well as staff's opinions. Choices Day. In Choices Day, I created a United States Army recruiting event. I invited 4 of my sergeants. They were Staff Sergeant Vega, Staff Sergeant Romel, Staff Sergeant Al, and Sergeant First Class Toledo. In this event, I had a presentation, and then as well as a few physical obstacles that students could participate in, as running, jumping, throwing the basketball, stuff like that, so it would be entertainment and not have them sit for an hour long just listening to information. And these are actually pictures of my event.
Oh, a lot of people there.
Yeah. The resources and how I prepare, I actually have Ms. Rooney, which is here. She helped me gather information. I actually have Ms. Keith as my mentor, and she helped me put my presentation together. Then I actually went to another school to attend the capstones and actually get feedback so I could prepare for my capstone, as well as I presented in front of 2 students, which was Beverly and Janishka, which is Giovanni's sister, and I also went to the Army office to learn about the Army because I can't create a recruiting event if I myself don't know about the Army. Results in what I learned. I learned that most students think negative about the Army. Not just the Army, just military in general. And the results after my event, I actually had more than 15 appointment sheets that students signed up. And then I actually am having, I believe next week, having Jalen, he's in the varsity basketball team, actually enlist in the United States Army. How can I use this to my future? I actually learned that creating an event takes hard work and dedication and a lot of stuff to it. I could use this in my future is if I ever wanted to make a military event, I know how. And then I learned from it that I could actually be a motivational speaker or motivational, whatever you want to call it, to other students. And I was actually learning that from this event. And this is the survey that I gave out to you guys personally in case you guys want to fill it out. And this is actually a graph. The blue represents how the average of students of my events before, that represents the average of students that was interested in the military, which is after my event, that's the red is the average of students that are more interested after my event. Any questions?
So terrific.
How do you feel right now?
Well, at first, before I started my presentation, I felt nervous, but now that I went through it, I feel a little bit more calm. Yeah.
Because you did a good job.
Thank you.
I don't have any real clarifying questions. You guys, you were really clear and expressive.
It was very, very clear. You know, do you have any questions, Logan?
Well, about the presentation, I thought it was pretty good. I think about 21st century skills. Which one do you think you hit on the most when you did this?
The problem thing,
Problem solving?
yeah, problem solving. Because I was doubting myself throughout this whole project. I was like, is enough students gonna show up? Is my sergeant actually coming? Because I know they have mad work and because they recruiting up on Bridgeport, Waterbury, so they have mad appointments. But I was like, are they really gonna show up? Are there going to be a lot of students? Is students going to be having fun while listening and entertaining? So it was like a lot of questions that I was doubting myself, and then I was actually planning to change my topic, but then I was like, no, because I'm not going to feel comfortable doing another topic, so I wanted to do something that I was in my zone.
It's good that you stuck with it because it's a lot of stuff that you say a lot of people don't know about.
Yep.
And kids don't realize, they think, like you said, everything is just like you go to war.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different things you can do with it. So it's good.
Any feedback? People want to give cool feedback? Or?
Some warm feedback. I thought the fact that you thought about your audience, like we talked about, right? And knowing your audience and knowing that the kids wouldn't want to just sit there and hear somebody yap at them. I thought that was really smart to do that and to, kind of gain some interest and some motivation. And you were very well prepared for today, and I could tell that. I like the fact that you dressed the part and everything. It was really, really good. My only cool feedback is, I don't know if you had anybody look at your slides.
Yes.
Is English your first language?
No, Spanish is
Okay,
actually
so
first.
especially knowing that this English is not your first language, you always want to make sure that somebody's really critical about your slides, because there were just a couple of little things on there that could have been cleaned up. Okay, but it's minor, right? But just know that going forward. Okay? I love the fact that you didn't procrastinate and that you got all this stuff done. And that's great. I'm glad you're getting videotaped. You need to be a role model for future Capstone.
Thank you.
And since you're new to our school
Yeah.
this year, the way you took it on just so powerfully,
Yeah.
I think that you deserve a ton of credit for that.
Thank you.
But I've known you since you walked in here the first day and you were determined and directed that first day. That was always so impressive to me. You said, I'm already enlisted in the Army. I need to do well in your class. You need to stay on top of me with me. And it was fantastic. And you've done that the whole way through. So you're an impressive guy, and I wish you well in everything you do.
Thank you.
Yeah, I said the same thing. He came into my web class a couple of weeks late, caught up to everybody, and surpassed pretty much everybody in the class.
Yeah,
So.
because I had a lot of stress.
Yeah,
because
definitely a great worker, and I like this whole thing. I always recommend kids, check out military if they don't know what they want to do. Because it's like you say, there's a lot of stuff that they could learn.
Thank you.
This, I think, a lot of kids I heard actually talking about this after on Choices Day, and they said it was a good job, they liked it. They brought up a lot of stuff they didn't know, so. It was beneficial. It wasn't just like something just to go to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was something that could help somebody out. So I think it was good. I didn't know you put it together. I wish I knew. I would have went and sat in. I didn't realize it.
All right, thank you guys very much.
So my name is Adel Salisea, and my capstone is called Open Doors. So for my initial plan for my capstone, I wanted to do something that had to do with the LGBTQ community. And when I was thinking about it, like the first few days, the first thing that popped into my head was coming out and how a lot of teens in this generation are not educated in what is coming out and the process that it takes and how it's processed with their family. So I wanted to do something that educated teens in our generation about what was coming out. And when it came up to the idea, I was thinking of having speakers come speak for my capstone and have them come and just share their story to the kids and me share my stories, and that's where it all came up from. So the people that I worked with were Jay Kemp. He was my mentor. He was the one that helped me out with coming up with my idea and planning it and just putting it into shape and into a picture where I believed on it and he believed in it too. And I also worked with Ms. Wilson, which she helped me out with the venue and where I should have it, what time I should have it, and what day I should have it. And she helped me out by letting me use the back of her library. And she just helped me out with giving me an amount of time for me to get everything situated, get everything ready for my share up. And I also work with Carmen Rosemond, which is one of my best friends. She's a HERE student at Career High School. She helped me out with helping me stay focused, helping me stay motivated. She was the one who helped me out with putting up my posters, creating my posters, creating my slides. She helped me out with my share out and everything. She was a big, big help. So some of the questions that I had through my capstone were, of course, what was coming out, what is coming out, and where can I get information about coming out. I also was asking myself, how can I teach myself about my topic? Because one of the important things that I wanted to do with my capstone was me teach myself so that I can learn how to teach other people about the topic that I was talking about, which is coming out. And other questions like when was I gonna have my venue? That's one of the things I really was struggling with. Where was I gonna have my venue? Which Ms. Wilson helped me out by letting me use the back of her library, and yeah, just who can come. I was wondering who can come to the share out because of the fact that LGBTQ coming out and stuff like that is a touchy subject in some families. So I wanted to know, like, so that kids won't have a problem with their parents or nothing like that. Like, who can come to the share out and stuff like that. So that's some questions that I had. So what I learned when I was doing my research, coming out is basically when you share a part of yourself with another individual. That's what coming out is. But LGBTQ coming out is when a person shares their sexual orientation or their gender identity with somebody else, which can be a friend, a stranger, or a family member. But it's very important because you're sharing a part of yourself, a vulnerable part of yourself with another individual, and that's what's coming out. I also learned about the Trevor Project, which is an organization which they give you information about different type of vocabs in the LGBT community. They give you information like if you're struggling with depression or you're struggling with your family members, they have a 24-hour hotline for you to call anytime. They help a lot with other information that you need to know about the LGBT community. I also learned about True Colors and Parent Parenthood. They both are nonprofit organizations. They also, like the Trevor Project, give you a lot of information that you need and a lot of help. They give you information about therapists, doctors if you need to see one. Like, they give you a lot of information about the LGBT community. And they also, all three of them target teens. They target this generation of teenagers because when it comes to coming out and LGBTQ LGBTQ, they're also the ones that are struggling a little bit with how to cope with everything. So they all target those the teams. So for my share out, like I was saying a little bit, I did a panel of speakers in the back of the library April 23rd, and it was a beautiful moment. It was a beautiful experience because not only did those 3 speakers share their stories, but I got the opportunity to share my story to other people. I was comfortable enough to share my story, so it was like a big milestone for me. And also, I like the fact that a lot of people were intrigued by it, and really in a vulnerable way, they really liked it and loved it. I like the fact that after the share out happened, a lot of people were coming up to me telling me that I should do this out of school. This is a big topic that should be talked about and things like that. And even people that weren't there at my share out, they were also hearing about it from other people, and they said that they wish they were there because they would love the experience. So these are some pictures from my share out. Like I said, these are my 3 guest speakers. One of the things that I wanted to do with them was I was asking them if they were comfortable to share their story, because that's the one thing I wanted to do. I want everybody in the atmosphere to be comfortable hearing their stories and them sharing their stories. Yes, that's what. So my Magma theme is business. Of course, I'm a business student, and one of the things that I was really excited for was the posters, because of the fact that in sports marketing, for Mr. Carter, we were making a project, and we had to make make up a team. And for one thing is that we had to make posters so we could post everywhere the flyers for the games and stuff like that. So for him teaching me that, I had to learn about where I should advertise my posters and where I should put them and everything, and how to create my poster. So you can see I made a all black background, and I put of course the LGBTQ plus colors, the flag, so that people would be interested in what it was. And a lot of people actually came to me and was like, oh, I seen this poster, and then there's like the colors popped to me, and I went to it and I seen your name, and they wanted to know more about the event and stuff like that. And also taught me about advertising the posters, like where to put it. Like I put it around the stairs, because that's where a lot of people go up and down, and the elevator, because a lot of people go to the elevator, and the bathrooms, and the all over the walls, so that people can see it and know about my event. So some of the obstacles that I went through was, of course, like I said, the venue. The first venue that I was looking at was the auditorium, but the time that they were giving me wasn't enough time for me to get everything situated, get everything ready. So I had to go and look somewhere else, and I had to think to myself, and I was like, okay, let me go talk to Ms. Wilson. She can give me the back of the library. And I talked to Ms. Wilson, and she gave me enough time to get everything situated, and that's where my share was, in the back of the library. I also I lost my mentor because anybody knows J Camp had to leave school, so I didn't have a mentor. But that's where Carmen came in, my friend, and she just kept me motivated, kept me focused, because I went through something that I really wanted to give up. I really wanted to give up, but she kept me focused, and that's what she did. And my final outcome, I really am proud of how my capstone went. I'm pretty proud of the fact that I educated myself and I educated others, and how it impacted other people's lives. Even though they didn't go through the same things that I went through, or the other speakers went through, but they experienced it there and then, and I'm really proud of that. I'm really proud of the fact that I educated them in what was coming out, and what was different types of vocab that was in the LGBT community, because that's one thing I wanted them to know. But yeah, I'm really glad how it went. I'm really happy. Any questions?
Questions? Yes, I have any questions for Lily?
Question. So now, doing all this research and this process, how do you think doing the whole capstone process helped prepare you for college? Do you think anything you learned during this process?
One thing that I learned was time management. I didn't know how to manage my time, and that's where I was like, this project forced me to learn how to manage my time, because it was, like I said, I was in a time crunch with the venue and everything, and then the capstone just pushed me to learn how to manage my time. And also communication, because I had to communicate with a lot of people, a lot of different type of people, so I had to communicate, and they taught me how to communicate, and the business aspect of communication. Yeah.
So, thinking back on it,
Mhm.
what you did, what would be the biggest thing you would do different if you could do that? In other words, how would you make it better if you had that option?
If I had the option to make it better, I feel like I would make it bigger in type of way. Because that's what I wanted to do in the beginning. I wanted to make it very important. I feel like if I could go back, I would go the extra mile to post everywhere, put it on the website, put it on social media, because this is a big topic that it should be talked about. So that's what I wanted to do, but it didn't work out. But if I could go back, I would just make it bigger, and so that everybody can learn about it, not only the 10 to 50 people that were at my capstone show.
Who were your speakers? Could you tell us?
Oh,
Do you want to keep them anonymous? Or?
I had Taneza Glass, which she's a student here at Career High School. I had Casey Booker, and I had my personal trainer here at Career. Her name is Miss Karina, and she came and talked about her experience, because her experience is from back in the day. So I really wanted people to see how it was different from back in the day until now. And then of course myself.
Questions? Right. Warm feedback?
Okay, I really like, you're one of the first people I've ever heard to say this in the capstone venue, which is I wanted to teach myself something so I could then teach it to others. Instead of just, I want to complete a stupid capstone to get it done, there actually was something personal in it for me. And that's how you learn. Yeah, it's very good. In terms of cool feedback, go back to Bryson for how to present.
Okay.
In terms of like editing your thing.
Okay.
We shouldn't be reading paragraphs.
Okay.
Okay? I mean, the information is fine up there, but like you shouldn't be putting full sentences where we have to read, okay. Full stop. Just go back to that, what does she call it, a 4x4, 6x6?
6x6.
6x6.
Okay.
So, edit that down, okay?
I love the title, Open Doors. It's strong. It hooked me in. I knew I was at your share out. As you know, I brought my class, small class. So I knew the topic, but when you said the title, it's very short and strong, and it really set the tone, which was great. I think as for you personally presenting, you did a great job. You were very confident and clearly knowledgeable. You didn't have to keep looking at the PowerPoint in order to speak to us. You were able to recollect the things you did. You were able to speak confidently about them. So that was really great. And I liked your tie-in with your magnet theme and how, you know, in that class for an assignment, you didn't have to have it dealing anything with your capstone. You chose to, you know, continue that education into that class too. So that was great. I think you can slow down your talking a little bit at times. You're excited, which is great. But, you know, maybe like script out, like these are my points I'm going to hit on, and that's it. Just so this way you can, you know, breathe and slow down the pace a little bit. But really enjoyed it. Good job.
Yeah, I'm going to just repeat everything she said. Right? I have all those same things, but I was really impressed with sort of how like sensitive and subtle you were with sort of how you talked about this and your role and your goals and how it turned out. Like that was really cool, and I liked your connection to the magazine as well. And I was going to say, you know, rushing, like the balance between like the logistics and sort of the learning about just sort of how the sort of fine points of the actual topic. I would have liked to hear a little bit more about the topic and the stories and that kind of stuff, because you talked about how hard it was to do the venue a couple too many times for the sort of time that you had. So, but otherwise, awesome job. Well said. Thanks.